Have you ever opened a door in anger and felt the whole house change? The dog hides, the air feels heavy, and later you wonder, why did I react like that again? In this video, you will see anger and ego in a completely new way, not as who you are, but as signs that your inner health is tired. You will discover how your daily habits, your media diet, and even your self-image quietly fuel your reactions. And you will get a short, realistic meditation you can do right now to start rewiring them, even if you've never meditated before. Sometimes a life story begins with something as simple as a door being opened in anger, a slammed door, a frightened dog, a house that feels heavy. From there, a different way of seeing begins to unfold. You might be wondering why anger and ego feel so natural at times. One way to look at it is through the idea of soul health or spiritual health. When this inner health is low, different forms of imbalance appear. Anger, jealousy, fear, worry. These can be seen as spiritual illnesses, signs of attachment to a wrong image of oneself, a false picture of who I am. Psychology finds that when people hold rigid self-images like, I must always be right, or I must never look weak, they react more strongly to threat, which increases anger and defensiveness. For a long time, identity may be built around the body, the face in the mirror, the name, the role. Then comes a quiet shift. I am a soul with a body. From this perspective, spirituality starts to feel like freedom, and everything that tightens and binds begins to look like bondage. What matters is less how one appears in front of others, and more what one is in front of oneself. Looking back, a life can seem bad, even if, at the time, everything felt normal. Harsh words, anger, even violence can feel like a natural response. If someone overtakes on the road, it feels natural to chase them and hit their car. If someone cheats you, it feels natural to pay them back. Surrounded by people who praise this, you did the right thing. You taught them a lesson. The pattern appears justified. Psychology calls this social reinforcement. When a group approves of aggressive reactions, those reactions become more likely and start to feel normal, even when they harm everyone's well-being. The same restlessness shows up in small, everyday places. Pressing the lift button again and again, expecting it to move faster, feeling irritated with its normal pace. One simple comment, pressing it 3 or 4 times won't make it come faster, can hurt the ego and still be obviously true. Moments like this begin to expose how natural reactions are actually just habits. There comes a time when trying to change only on the surface doesn't work. Tying knots in a handkerchief to remember, don't get angry. Writing on the dressing table, smile, happy. Don't get. Deciding from home, I will not react at the red light. Yet, the old patterns remain unchanged. Even with effort, the transformation does not deepen. So what actually begins to shift this? Daily exposure to spiritual teachings and regular inner practice can slowly polish an earlier foundation, the way a rough stone is cut into a diamond. Gradually, there is a felt difference. The word freedom becomes real, not as an idea but as an experience in the body. Sitting on a chair, the same body feels lighter, as if a weight has been taken off. The heaviness of ego begins to lift. Here, ego and anger are seen more clearly. Anger is one expression. Ego is the subtle root, giving oneself too much importance, holding on to a distorted image of me. The shift begins with a simple but repeated awareness. I am a soul. I am a soul brushing my teeth. I am a soul taking a bath. But this awareness is incomplete until it is extended to others as well. At a certain point, a question arises. Do you see the other person as a soul? Realizing the answer is, no, I see only a body. Something opens. The driver, the staff, the child, the stranger, each is seen as a soul playing a part, like different characters in a film. Language softens. Commands become respectful address. Labels like fair, dark, thin, fat, old, young begin to lose their centrality. Life starts to feel lighter when everyone, including oneself, is seen as a soul. Now another question appears. And why do anger and ego arise at all? Here the idea of spiritual health returns. Just as weak physical immunity catches every infection and struggles with stairs, weak spiritual immunity catches emotional infections. Anger, jealousy, fear, worry. Sometimes anger is loud and visible. Sometimes it is silent, a soft voice outside, but crying and burning inside. Even that is anger, turned inward. All of these are signs that the soul has moved away from ease, a state of disease. If inner power is neglected, some form of sickness appears. Thought patterns begin to affect the body, mental health, and relationships. Spiritual health influences emotional, mental, physical, social, professional, even environmental health. When the inner state is unhappy, negative vibrations naturally spill into the environment. Modern psychology agrees that chronic stress, overthinking, and suppressed anger increase the risk of anxiety, depression, and even physical illness. Through long-term activation of the body's stress systems. At the root of anger lies identification. not because of counting to 10 or drinking water in that moment, but because inner stamina has quietly grown. Earlier, it was not like this. Reactions mirrored whatever was in front. Loud for loud, soft for soft. In different places, speech and behavior would shift to match the local style. There was no stable center, only a tendency to be easily influenced. In acting, one consciously enters a role, villain, hero, officer, and comes out when the director says, "Cut." In the same way, one can gradually learn to enter and stay in the role "I am a soul," and then gently step out from old patterns. Affirmations and subtle practices support this. Speaking to water. I am a pure soul. I am receiving power, knowledge, and love. Prefixing I am before sacred words so that they become inner statements rather than outer labels. Over time, these quiet repetitions begin to reshape responses. When someone shouts, the old impulse to shout back weakens. A different habit starts to form. At this point, it helps to understand how habits form and change. Here, the soul is described as playing 3 roles. With introspection, one pauses. How is my thought right now? The intellect then chooses a different response. Why spoil everyone else's mood and my own? Repeated often, this new response becomes a new habit. For this to work, there needs to be a genuine inner desire. What is affirmed repeatedly starts to feel natural. People often say that as they keep affirming certain truths, the situations around them appear to change. The deeper shift, though, is within. The same exam may come again, but with better preparation the experience is different. What once felt heavy and overwhelming now feels lighter, as if there was no exam at all. Situations may not become perfect, but their power over you decreases. Rituals and external forms of devotion can become a kind of bondage when they tighten the identity of I am this name, this family, this wealth, this status. To rise above these labels is to open the possibility of genuine freedom. Lifestyle then begins to change in subtle ways. Taste softens its grip. Later, the same life that once dreamed of luxury, alcohol, rich feasts and status symbols begins to answer the question, what do you want? With nothing. I want peace. I want freedom. The outer path looks similar, but the inner sense of achievement has changed. This raises another question. Do you now have to become a vehicle to change others? The response here is simple. You don't have to try to change anyone. By changing yourself, you quietly influence many. When one person drops a destructive habit, countless others can be touched through vibration, without meeting physically. Thoughts and states of being are not isolated. They move through a shared field. Psychology calls this emotional contagion. Emotions and moods spread through families, teams, and even strangers, simply by seeing and sensing each other. To illustrate this, consider a simple story about animals. One group begins washing muddy food in water before eating. Elsewhere, another group, without direct contact, starts doing the same. Knowledge seems to travel in ways that are subtle and invisible. Science explores this through ideas like interconnected systems, that the lived experience comes first. Theories arrive later. In that sense, inner search is as real as outer research. From this perspective, individual action carries social weight. Individual responsibility in daily life means understanding that your inner and outer actions, what you think, what you consume, what you support, matter. Beyond collective responsibility, there is the power of a single person's choices in shaping the larger field. Patterns in children, for example, often mirror the unspoken patterns of parents and elders. A child may unconsciously copy tone, reactions, even generosity or stubbornness, purely through vibration. Change in one place silently supports change in another. This influence extends to animals and environments as well. A home filled with anger feels heavy even to a dog, who hides under a sofa at the sound of an angry knock. The same home, approached with calm, feels different. Energy is not an abstract word here. It is seen in very ordinary, concrete ways. All of this leads to a wider reflection on media and content. You might ask, isn't it just entertainment? In small doses, perhaps, but constant exposure becomes mental diet. Negative or sensational content can act like a substance. At first, a little gives a high, then more is needed, and slowly the mind is pulled deeper into depletion. With today's volume of media, this in effect multiplies. Daily serials, news cycles, and endless scrolling gradually shape thoughts and reactions. Research shows that repeated exposure to violent or distressing media is linked with higher anxiety, more aggressive behavior, and greater psychological distress, especially in children and teens. Creators respond to what consumers watch. If people keep choosing stimulating, violent, or lustful content, more will be produced. Very few creators can consistently make gentle, meaningful content if almost no one watches it. In this sense, audience responsibility becomes central. When viewing habits shift, creation follows. Inner taste can shift from gossip and scandal to something cleaner. Spiritual education then acts like cleaning rust from iron, restoring the ability to hold goodness again. This also connects to rising crime and unrest. Think of emotional pollution in the air. Lust, ego, anger, aggression, violence, fear. Where inner immunity is weak, these vibrations hit harder. Some minds get slightly disturbed. Others become overwhelmed. For a few, the inner pressure crosses a threshold and spills out as crime. In that sense, while one person acts, many have contributed to the invisible climate. Forwarding violent or degrading content, laughing at it, or consuming it repeatedly all feed the same field. From here, individual responsibility takes a very specific shape. Choosing not to consume certain kinds of content, especially those soaked in lust or terror, is not a small private act. Even jokes, memes, and harmless forwards carry vibrations. Ridicule, aggression, fear, comparison. Each selection either strengthens or weakens the collective atmosphere. Just as giving up one cigarette has ripple effects in a shared space, giving up one kind of content changes the subtle environment. Life is interconnected. Thoughts are not confined to one mind. Media can also nourish. A simple half-hour of daily positive content has helped many people step back from the edge of depression, conflict, even self-harm. 6. Over time, this reveals the power of regular, constructive input. If a small amount of positivity can support healing, the impact of hours of negativity becomes easier to understand. Changing the diet of what we watch, hear, and read gently changes the inner landscape, and gradually, the outer one too. Children show another side of this truth. They often reflect purity, honesty, and innocence that adults feel they have lost. They are quick to accept, slow to judge. Their energy is simple and clean, which is why just watching a baby sleep can bring a smile. Many of the soul's original qualities, peace, love, joy, radiate through them without effort. For adults, seeing this can be a reminder. Layers of ego and pretense have built up over time, but they are not the core. As those layers thin through practice and awareness, a more childlike sincerity returns. truth becomes simpler when there is less need to perform or protect an image. One inner quality that often calls for deeper cultivation is wisdom. Wisdom gently guides behavior, softens speech, and helps ego and anger to loosen. Learning in this area does not end. Each moment invites a little more clarity, a little more understanding. Spiritual health, then, is not a collection of separate virtues, but a single, integrated state. As soul consciousness deepens, all 7 qualities begin to rise together. If attention slips, pride and hurt reappear. One can feel irritation, sadness, insecurity. This is not a failure, but a reminder of how sensitive the inner system is. Again and again, life invites a return to wisdom, to awareness of the soul, to a quieter way of being. As this story closes for now, there is no demand to change, no pressure to become anything, just an invitation to notice. How do thoughts, habits, and the diet of daily content shape the inner world? And how might a small shift, held gently over time, begin to lighten the space within? Here is a short, quick, realistic practice you can drop straight into the video as a try it now segment. Few-minute reset. From anger to soul awareness, sit how you are. No need to change much. If you can, let your eyes soften or close. Step 1. Notice and name. Take one slow breath in and out. Bring to mind a small situation that recently annoyed you. Just label it in your mind. This is anger. Then add, this is my inner health feeling tired, not who I am. Step 2. Shift to, I am a soul. Bring attention to the center of your forehead, behind the eyes. Imagine a tiny point of light there. Slowly repeat in your mind 3 times. I am a peaceful soul. I am a peaceful soul. I am a peaceful soul. Notice even a 5% drop in tension. That is enough for now. Step 3. Choose one new response. Bring back that annoying situation, but in your mind press pause. Ask yourself, what is one calmer way I could respond next time? Maybe a breath before speaking. Maybe softer words. Maybe staying silent for a moment. Pick one and say silently, next time I will try this instead. Step 4. Seal it. Take one more deep breath in and out. Gently tell yourself, I am not my old reactions. I am a peaceful soul learning a new habit. Open your eyes. That's it. This is your quick, in-the-moment practice you can use anytime.